Check, check. Hopefully you can hear me right now. Please let me know. I'm starting early, but please let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, I need to change something. Okay, you can. Okay, great. Perfect. So, bad news. Bad news often happens at the last minute. And the bad news is that Batman is not able to make the interview. Hopefully the echo's gone. Let me know if the echo's gone. Okay, perfect. I just had to level things out. So Batman let me know at the last minute that he's not able to make it. So I think what happened last time was actually I don't know if this has ever happened, but let's have some fun today. So who this is one of those things where I'm not necessarily prepared, but I'm ready. So if anyone else out there is ready, send me a sample. Send me something that that you want me to work on. The easiest way to do that is just go to my Twitter at DJPayne1 on Twitter and reply to my latest tweet, my most recent tweet, with a link to a sample. And please no Google Drive or anything that's like protected. If the link isn't public, then I can't use it. But yeah, I want to work on some beats, and then we can, if we like them, we put them on our beat store. Some other stuff I want to talk about, because obviously I'm going to give you some time since I just dropped this on you out of nowhere. The other thing I want to talk about is this whole $1 million beat lease thing. That's cool. I don't know if anyone's seen the post. I know BeatStars shared it. The Danny EB Tracks tweet where he shared a screenshot of his total up-to-date BeatStars net income, which exceeded $1 million. And these are beat leases, completely. And as a matter of fact, let's check out his. So there's a lot to unpack here, right? And I think it's important that we, at very least, just kind of look at it. And I'll tell you why. Let me share. We're just gonna examine his store. So number one, look at the prices. As low as $39.95, right? And this is the same kind of pro page that all of us are using. He's making a lot of beats that aren't necessarily trap beats. So there are a lot of narratives here that this whole $1 million threshold is proving to us. I'd say number one is you don't need to sell the type of beat that everybody claims are the only beats that artists want. I'd say also number two is that there's this narrative, again, that you hear all the time. And I've seen tweets as long ago as maybe like 2010 and before saying selling beats online is dead. Selling beats online is too saturated. It's over with. You can't make money selling beats online. And here we are. Danny EB Tracks just posted that he made over $1 million on BeatStars alone, one single platform. Keep in mind, that's just BeatStars. That's just BeatStars. It's not royalties. It's just BeatStars. Now, on top of that, we have others doing similar stuff. I'm not going to say names. If a person hasn't shared their earnings, I'm not going to sit here and speculate. But we can kind of guess who's also hitting similar numbers just based on who's been doing it for a really long time and who's clearly and consistently charting on the top charts and so forth. But I don't want to get into pocket watching. Dilly got a bump and posted that he made damn near $1 million. And I think Daddy EB Tracks maybe started before him. Dylan Graham came on and said, he posted his earnings for 1 year, and it was $250,000 in just 1 year. So we can make some inferences, right? We can guess at the math. And the purpose isn't, not to look at them and say, okay, we have to make $1 million. There's no limit. There's really no threshold here. There's no ceiling for the beat leasing world. I'm checking my Twitter right now. And okay, thank you, Steez. Let me pin his comment because you made $30 in 2017 and you've made over 30,000 so far this year. Yeah, it's not. And you do hear, unfortunately, a lot of producers saying that they believe that era is over. That if you didn't get in early, somebody kick this guy out the chat. If you didn't get in early, you're kind of screwed. But no, and again, it's not up to me. I don't want to be the guy to say names of producers that I know are doing well because I'm not looking at their accounts. I'm not looking at their bank accounts. I have no idea. I can just guess based on what I know about, their numbers. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, gross sale? Well, what's the net? I mean, if the net is 2,500, you do that every single month and you're making over 6 figures a year, or you're making 6 figures a year solidly. So that's my next point about this, and I'm going to try to download some of the stuff that people are sending me. But my next point is that, yeah, there are producers who are hitting that $1 million mark, but what about the rest of us? I'm not going to tell you I've made $1 million off of BeatStars. So what? Someone just said Steve said he made 30,000 so far just this year. There's no ceiling, and the growth is there. The options for growth. Oh, my bad. My math is terrible. I was thinking weekly. Yeah. So, sorry, 30K. I mean, people are making livings doing this. So you end up having a situation where now there's this kind of producer middle class where literally doing what you love I'm an idiot. Doing what you love where you're at, you end up making an amazing. I mean, you're paying your bills off of this. What more could you want? Oh, God, yeah. So I can't say anything to Mike Trampy anymore. No, he's not, unfortunately. So we're gonna make some beats. Let me tell you, I actually did this math. Because say your goal is to make 100,000 a year, right? And for me, it certainly was and continues to be, honestly. But I did the calculations, and I rounded it up to 275. When you get to the point where, and I think this is helpful, you tell me, creating actual goals and benchmarks for yourself, I think always is going to help, because if you don't have goals, how do you gauge your progress? How do you structure your day? How do you structure your work around nothing? Once you have goals, you can, build your day. And exactly, G Life, and writing them down. Remember when I had Pyro on, he had goals written on a whiteboard behind him. Appreciate you, White Origami. So doing that, and just at very least knowing that if you hit $274 net a day, that you're hitting $100,000 a year, that can help you, because it will change, especially once you start getting closer to that number. If one day you make $200 a day, wow, you're only $74 away. You're only $74 away. Now you're charting your progress, and you're thinking in your head, hey, what is it going to take for me to get, maybe you're only making 100 a day. How can I make another $174 a day? What can I do? What have I done to get me to this point of making $100 a day off beats? And how can I step that up? I think all of those things are really important. I am going to listen now. Yeah, and this isn't even necessary. I feel like this whole, like, when you get into law of attraction and law of vibration and all the metaphysical stuff, writing things down is a big part of it. I'm not going to get into that. But there is this kind of scientific and concrete part to all of this. There's that aspect of it all. So writing down goals, if nothing else, helps you hold yourself accountable for them, and keeps them front and center in your brain as you plan your day, as you avoid distractions, right? As you celebrate your small successes and stay motivated, because it's easy to slip into these pits of negativity. That was the unfortunate result. And I don't want to make it seem like it was widespread, but part of the responses I got for the tweet where I'm celebrating this whole $1 million milestone was, yeah, but not everyone can do it, or it takes too long, or I'm just being a realist. It's not going to happen for me. It's like, don't be like that, guys. Why sabotage yourself? Why sabotage your own goals? Your goals are supposed to be lofty. Your goals are supposed to be big. You're supposed to have a goal so big that everyone around you looks at you like you're out of your freaking mind. You want to make a living doing what? Making beats and putting them on the internet? Are you crazy? In 2022, are you crazy? Yeah, I am. We all are. And guess what? It's working for a lot of us. I'd like to get into selling beats, but I'm kind of confused on how BeatStars wants. So BeatStars doesn't want anything from you in terms of beat structures. There's no template. We're talking about music, man. I could tell you, hey, the way I make beats is very clear. 4-bar intro, start with the chorus, 8 measures, 16-bar verses, 3 verses, overall sequenced. And someone can come along and do something totally different and have a way more successful beat than me. It's creative. It's music. Shout out to Tiger. See, that's dope. Yep. $1 million a month. Yeah, let's do it. Shoot for the stars. If you fall, you land in the clouds. Yeah. So let me listen to some of these samples people sent me. This is, can you hear these? I don't know if this is playing. Probably not, maybe. This is dope. This is from Bufa. Oh, this is the whole damn track. All right, I know what that is. Who sent me something called Where Brooklyn at 87 beats per minute? You guys don't put your names in these samples, man. You're gonna confuse me. This is boom bap. We can knock this out fast. Is the music too loud?
Really, the only thing I want anybody to take from my music is be yourself, and don't think because there's a standard or there's a way to do something or somebody had a plan and it worked, that it'll work for you. You know what I mean?
So what would help me is if you guys would send me guys, I mean that gender neutrally. Sorry. If you'd send me stuff without drums, so for example, this Where Brooklyn At. Matter of fact, let me check my tweets. I want to make sure that I know the author of this particular sample. Okay, this is Wayland. So where is Wayland? Did they take down the jerk who stole my identity? No, they didn't. No, and I'm like, what's the point of being verified on Instagram if I can't report someone is stealing my identity and scamming people? Doesn't make any freaking sense. Anyway, but thank you for asking. So let's get into this thing that Waylon sent me. Thank you for the tempo. I think it's an MP3. So this is what happens with MP3s, just FYI. There's always sample time added in the form of silence at the beginning. So that's why when people send me, I'm not criticizing anyone. I can deal with it. But in general, if you're sending people loops, waves are the way to go. Just to avoid that, because you never know if that's a deal breaker. Someone might not be in the mood to cut that sample time off. And this is perfect because Dream Life's kit, his newest kit called The Recipe, is full of old school boom bap drum loops. Like I don't want to be super lazy and just do this. But it does sound good, and like there's nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, if you use loops, more power to you. So I like this snare. Let's just cut this snare out. I'm gonna find a kick I like. I love that my microphone is cooperating right now. So I'm not as lazy as I could have been. I used 2 loops, but I'm gonna modify them a little bit. Because I want an open hat on these. I'm probably gonna soft clipper the kick too. Yeah, I'm gonna use my kit. This is it's not even my latest kit, but this is kind of my go-to right now for drums. So let me just jump into the soft clipper right away, because why not? I want to hear my kicks sounding as good as they possibly can as I'm making my beat. And I soft clip my kicks to any cymbal sounds, like an open hi-hat or a crash. I just like how that sounds. I use a fill from and I always, every time I'm live, I always talk about how I'm gonna release these fills for free, and I always plan on it. But I have a bunch of I have a lot coming out. Sample kits, drum kits. check the chat to see if this guy that sent me this is even in here. Is Waylon in here? Or was he just a sneak? Okay, no, he's in here. Okay, cool. Okay, someone said that I'm still super loud. Are my levels still super loud? Okay. Now I'm self-conscious. Because if it's too loud, I can try to turn it down somehow. Okay, other people are saying it sounds fine. If Rich says it sounds good, I gotta believe him. All right, bass time. Oh, someone doesn't like the fill. You don't like that fill? All right, let me try another one. Just for you. Maybe I can combine these. No, I don't like that one. You know what might glue this fill together a little better is a crash. And you know what? I'm going to use the good old Rel Banks Diamond Stash Kit because I'll show you he has these cymbal swells. Oh, and I'm not saving my damn screen. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. I knew I was going to do that at some point. All right. I'm going to try to get more than one done in this session. I think that's possible. I can do that. I can make that happen. Those 50-cent claps, I don't know. I hear them in dance hall still a little bit. I wonder if they're going to make a comeback. What do you think? In the chat. Oh, you know who was talking about that? Illmind. He was saying he didn't like the new trend that, newer hip hop beats were just there's the snares weren't super thick like they used to be. And I noticed that nowadays snares are a little thinner, and a lot of people are either using super thin snares or like rims, and those thick, meaty ass snares, and those what we're calling the 50 cent claps. Like Fabulous had them in a lot of his beats. Not that he made beats, but you know what I'm saying. Those super late, like where it's like 6 claps at the same time. See, and I feel like Levi's snap is still kind of thin. I'm talking about those super layered, super heavy, damn near sounding like a kick, snare drums and claps. He was saying he missed those. So when are they going to come back? I don't know. Are they going to come back? A lot of stuff is coming back. I feel like all the heavy synths, like the rage music and stuff and Yeet and all that stuff is coming back. So, and yeah, Neptune and the Neptune's kicks that aren't all punchy. They're just a lot of tail, a lot of DK. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Decap snares. Sure. I'm sure Illmind loves those. I don't know what these notes are. There we go. I have to make sure none of my bass notes are ahead of the beat. Behind is fine. Okay, Waylon, I hope you're on BeatStars. So that when I upload this, I can just cut you in 50-50 on this. I'm going to work. I want to add one more element. See, this is where something like, and I know now that the key it's in is D minor. This is where something like arcade comes in handy. I'm not going to eat this protein bar right now. Yeah, so a lot of people, this is what I don't understand. I'm not here to judge, but I do believe if you're using arcade and the only thing you're using is the Hooked collection, you're just really not getting your money's worth, because there's a lot of other stuff that they have. So like, watch, if I just search for jazz, because this is a jazzy beat, I want some jazz elements. There's more than just vocal samples. That stuff sounds cool, like key embellishments. Oh yeah. Wait, that sounded cool. Maybe not for 2 measures, but let me check in with the chat. Stop DAW shaming me. Get out of here. Him and Mike Trampy, get out of here. Yeah, this is how I make beats. I don't make. I'm thinking of, maybe doing this more regularly, just having like a kind of live collab thing. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it's not. I do want to stream more, and so this whole I was looking forward to talking to Batman today, but this last minute change is causing me to do some stuff that I don't normally do. So it's fun. I think BeatStars is gonna forgive me if I go a little over time. I'm just gonna add a couple more things, Waylon, and then I'm gonna finish this out on my own time. See, I'm getting this back channel, Illuminati stuff coming in. Okay, Boofa, I promise I will check yours out next, and we can get to work on that. Waylon, I have never collaborated with, so this is fun, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing. I don't see him leaving comments in the chat. That was funny. The person that stole my identity on Instagram took my pronouns out and put it in the username. People are like, are you just parading around the fact that you're male? I'm like, I didn't do that, guys. I didn't steal my own identity. Anyway, if you get a message from a DJ Payne 1 that's not verified on Instagram, it is not me. Please report them, and do not, unless you're just trying to mess with them, do not engage. Do not engage. All right, back to the beat. If I can find it. Yeah, a lot of people reported the account. I had like 50 people tell me that they reported it, and I appreciate all 50 of you. And Instagram hasn't done anything. But I bet if it was a woman and she showed half a nipple, they'd be on it. I bet you. Their priorities are all messed up. Got to arm a track before you can record. That kind of conflicts with the arcade sample. So the way I look at it, this is how I always make beats. I add the most shit at the beginning. So this whole first 8 measure section is the chorus. I'll add an intro. I'll strip it down for the verses and then bring it back for the hook. And then Wayland, I'm gonna need your email address too, so that I can send this to you. Yeah, that's what someone said. They're like, yeah, you made it when someone is stealing your identity on Twitter. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But and I thought it was funny at first. And then I realized that some Jamaican artist reached out and told me that he had an interaction with the fake profile, and the fake profile was lying and saying that they loved his music, and all he had to do was give them $50 and he would blow their YouTube channel up. So that's not cool at all. That is not cool. And then that's when it stopped being fun. It was fun at first. I thought it was hilarious at first, actually. It's still kind of funny because they did such a bad job stealing my identity. But it works. I feel like the whole and then people are always, like, I want to be verified on Instagram just to look cool. This is what verification is for. You know what I mean? This is the reason that system even exists. It's to protect people, so that they know, hey, this person with the verified badge is who they say they are. Everyone else with the fake accounts is not who they say they are, so don't get scammed by them. But then the issue is there are people with verified accounts that are scamming people too. So you just have to be careful, period. Be skeptical, period. All right. So I just got another sample sent to me. And let's get to it. That was cool. All right, intro here, hook here, verse here. I guess that's a pre-chorus because it's almost like a bridge. All right, time to trap this hoe out. This is what I name my kicks when I make one I really like, and then they end up in one of my kits with a much better name. In fact, let's in honor of him being, not that I wouldn't be using these anyway, but in honor of him being my guest last week, let's grab some decap hi-hats. I really like his hi-hats. Believe it or not, that's what I use the most from his kit, or kits, I should say, are the hi-hats. Still do want to switch to Ableton, but I like my workflow. I'm sure you can do the same stuff in Ableton though. And sorry I'm not super active in the chat. I'm trying to pay attention to all this stuff. Just Frankenstein all these kits together. Why not? I have over 15 minutes to finish this beat. I think I can. And by finish, I mean just get enough ideas so that I feel confident that all I have to do is go in and mix, which is the hardest part sometimes. Why is that folder giving me issues? I forgot to clip my kick. I'll do that now. Shout out to my 500 series. It is not cutting out today. I already had a beat called Late Night, so this is Late Nights with a Z, so you know that it's special. I'm not gonna lie, I never know what kind of drum fills to add to a beat like this. What kind of drum fills does a beat like this require? I'm going on Splice. Because I really don't. Do we use the super trapped out fills, or so I'm gonna go with something organic, but still, I'm still confused. Because you want it to be smooth. Cheap trick, right? Just cut out all the sound except the fill right before the downbeat after the intro. It works. Let's snatch another sound from Darrell here. That's what they're there for. halftime this, whatever we're calling this, part A section. And then, yeah, making it sound real kind of shitty. Giving away all the cheap sequencing tricks. Ooh, that double kick is bothering me. I don't like it. Oh, wait. Does that ever happen to you? You just, I don't know, it's like you add one hit too many. And it just haunts your soul until you delete it. Whoa. Come here. If you're gonna howl up a storm, you got to get on the stream. Say something in the mic now. Oh, now she's quiet. All right. Okay. Everyone wants fame until the camera's on them. How do I end this? I got to resolve this back into the chorus. Hey, we're making good time. Let me go back to the chat, see what's going on. Yeah, auto-tune cat. I wish. What are some essential things when making beats for artists, rappers? Ooh, I think for me, and this is just for me. This isn't for everybody, but for me, clear structure. So indicating somehow that this is the chorus, this is the intro, this is the verse. And then obviously leaving space for vocals. So that's why I'm not layering a bunch of counter melodies on top of this. I feel like I could add a couple things and not crowd out the space in which the vocals would tend to fit. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna try to be as conservative as possible and show as much restraint as I can here, to not just continue layering on more and more and more and more and more elements, melodic elements. But now it's definitely time for bass. Definitely time for bass. And again, I do want to switch DAWs. And I think this would be easier in other DAWs, but I use this plugin as a sampler. And Waves has a sampler out that looks pretty good. So, and it was free at one point. I don't know if it's still free. If it's not, that's my fault for not getting it when it was free. So I'm gonna drag in a sub bass here. Save my work. Turn it to legato so I can slides and glides. Oops. That's why I want to switch DAWs, because that stupid shit happens all the time. That's why I save. It's saved. We're fine. I just don't like it because now I gotta reopen it and reload all that stuff. Who has the Waves sampler? What is it called? And is it still free? Those are the two burning questions. One, what is it called? And two, is it still free? Because it was free, and everyone was telling me to get it. And I'm like, nah, I'll get it. And then I forgot. Because it was free like around a holiday or something. Anyway, let's get back to this track. And did it? Okay. I'm happy with the recovery here. Seymour was going down. Yeah, I can too. I've seen it in action up close and personal. I used to use FL. I just feel like I've been so far removed from that style of DAW that Ableton or Logic, and I'm not going to switch platforms, so probably Ableton is the smartest transition for me. Okay, well, that's with me. That's fine, whatever that means. Yep, I always play my bass line way up high so that when I drop it down, I know I'm playing the right notes, because your ears can't really discern between incorrect notes at this low of a register. That's why so many people have out of tune 808s, as they call them. happening here? Actually, you know what, Bufo, I think I'm gonna send this to you to finish mixing, just because. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is why I need to watch the chat. I was doing the whole bass line here. Here it is. Sorry. I was gonna say, Bufo, I want to send this to you, so you can mix it, because you sent me all this stuff combined. So you have more control over the mix because I don't have all the elements. We have pretty much a fully sequenced beat here. I'll sequence the whole thing because I already have it pretty much sequenced. If you want to add additional drops and stuff, I trust you. Waylon, I have enough to mix on my end. So at the end, I'm gonna give you 2 choruses. I don't want it to be too long, but I don't want it to be too short. So I'm just gonna double up the choruses at the end. There we go. Cool. We have a beat. And I'm not even that far beyond the time that was allotted. Yeah, cool. All right, so we made 2 beats. I appreciate everyone that tuned in because this wasn't the regularly scheduled programming, and we made it happen. So shout out to Waylon, shout out to Bufo, to the people that sent samples. I'm sorry, some of them I listened to, they were cool. They just had drums in them, and so I'm just kind of trying to knock out beats. But as we move forward, and maybe we make this more of a regular thing, the whole online collab session, we will figure out how to create some kind of system so that we don't have to frantically rush to get tracks. Maybe we'll have like a public folder or something that you can drop samples into, or I'll just get a new email address and specifically for people to send samples to, and we'll work that out. Okay, cool. Greatest session ever. Word. Yeah. Hey, well, appreciate you guys, all of you. Thank you so much. I will be back same time, same place next week, Thursday at 3 p.m. And things did change. Again, things are changing. I don't want to talk too much about it because honestly, I don't really know what's going to happen with these sessions, but there are going to be some changes that they remain to be seen. But wait a minute, is this already coming up? Yeah. All right, guys. So at the beginning, I was talking about that whole $1 million beat tweet from. Yep, I did. At the beginning, I was talking about Danny EB Tracks making $1 million off of BeatStars, and someone else who posted a screenshot of their net, which was about 900,000 off of BeatStars, was Dilly Got It Bumping, right? He actually made a video talking about this. Guess who I have on next week? Talking about how he made $1 million off of BeatStars. Dilly Got It Bumping. So you don't want to miss that. You really don't. As a matter of fact, I need to change. If I already don't have that one labeled as making $1 million off of beats, I need to, just because, not that this is all about the money, but because this is an impressive and really kind of motivational thing here that we're seeing happen, and it's new. Selling beats online and making $1 million freaking dollars. I'm not saying other people didn't do it, especially some of the people. I don't know how much Vibe made. I don't know how much Johnny Giuliano made, but again, I'm not going to speculate. I'm just saying there are a lot of people in this world that are either living and hey, you're making 30, 40, $50,000 a year. That's beautiful. That's amazing. That's what a lot of people make off their day job. And not everyone's happy at their day job. At least, if you're making 50,000 a year and supporting yourself and your family, you're doing something that you love and you're owning all of your successes and your mistakes. And there's always room to grow, right? There's no ceiling. You don't place a ceiling on yourself. Somebody else places a ceiling on you. So when you're online, it's just anything could happen. You're working for yourself. So we're going to talk to Dilly. If you have questions about what he's done, he's an open book. I think anyone who hasn't seen his YouTube video, check that out. But definitely, 6 million is a lot for plays. I'm almost there, honestly. I'm almost there. I don't know what I'm at. I should check. Let's see. And I don't think plays dictate your financial state either. Yeah, I'm at 5 million right now. So does that mean I've made $1 million yet? No. Or am I close? Not, no, but I haven't checked my net, so we'll see. The fact of the matter is, there are many ways to succeed, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to do what you love and make any type of living. So I will catch you there. I hope everyone that's here today is there next week, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on BeatStars Live. Appreciate you tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.